Okay, let's talk about AI data centers and soybeans. If you guys haven't seen, OpenAI just released a new version of Sora.
1 year ago, Sora 1 redefined what was possible with moving images. Today, we're announcing the Sora app, powered by the all-new Sora 2. It's the most powerful imagination engine ever built. And it's packed with new features. I'll pass it to Bill for more details.
Now every video comes with sound.
Okay, very cool, but I want to show you guys this graphic here. This is a chart of basically the power used by AI data centers in different states as a percentage. So as you can see in Virginia, it says 39%. Think about that for a second. 39% of all the power used in Virginia is going to data centers, not homes, not businesses. Data centers is becoming a huge chunk of the amount of power being used in the US. And you know, what did they say when the electric cars first started coming online and people needed to charge their cars and whatnot? The power grid cannot handle it. Well, there's a good chance that the power grid cannot handle the increase in demand by AI data centers. Now, I bring this up as a problem because a lot of these AI data centers, they get subsidized rates from the states for their power use, or they get incentives to come into these states. They say stuff like, oh, we're gonna make jobs and whatnot. If you think about the idea of AI, what is it, the outlook it has for the future, I I don't see a lot of jobs being made. And we're talking about this as job numbers are coming out and they're down, and I've been talking about this for months now. It feels like that. Expect the job numbers to go down because there's this overlooming shadow that is getting cast. Jobs are getting consolidated. It is what it is. If you've been working, everyone's using different AI for different uses. I mean, most people seem to be using it to write emails and whatnot, but there are some people that know how to use it to do bigger, better things. I mean, I have a friend that uses it for everything, and it's it gets to the point now that you can tell which letter or which email has been written by AI, but still, it is consolidating jobs. And if you think about these data centers, they're mostly big rooms of servers and wires and whatnot. So you don't need a lot of people to be in these data centers, and they get these incentives, to be there while they're sucking up power. And the rates for normal consumers, just smaller businesses that actually manufacturers or whoever, or just even in the home, the rates of power is going up. And I don't know where you guys are, but for me, I know the power per kilowatt has gone up over the last few weeks or months or so. And some states are starting to roll out these devices that they can install into your AC unit or power supply or whatever for your home. And let's watch the news clip and we'll talk more about it.
Introduced a bill this week that would allow utility companies to automatically adjust your thermostat at your house. House Bill 427 would create a voluntary demand response program. Customers would be allowed to sign up to let their utility company temporarily adjust energy use, including raising thermostat settings or cycling water heaters during periods of high demand. The bill's sponsor, Representative Roy Kloppenstein, said It's meant to help homeowners and small businesses save money while reducing the load on the power grid. An analysis from the Ohio Environmental Council estimates the program would generate between $34 and $100 million in savings for the utility system, depending on how many customers sign up for.
Oh, that's great. I guess other states are starting to catch up. For me personally, my state, or at least where I'm at, they've had that program a while back, and I did it a while ago. And I just remember one summer where it was scorching hot, and I tried to turn on the AC, and bam, I get a big like warning or something, and it said like, you're not allowed to turn on the AC until, I don't know, I've got like nighttime or whatever. And I was like, no. And yeah, and that's what's gonna be like if you install one of those things on, which I don't know, if you could you could deal with it, you could deal with it. If not, you're not, it is what it is. Right now there's lots of money, time, and investment being put into these data centers. What is the stat? I believe it's for every question you ask ChatGPT, you basically evaporate a gallon of water or something like that. It requires a lot of power to maintain these AI systems, and they need these data centers, right? But if you think about what the AI is being used for, like, I'm not talking about the entry level job work that the AI is being used for. That is gonna happen, and it adds to the economy. It does something, right? It from taking out lawyers, doctors, marketing, all those people, right? Design work. That's gonna happen. We've been talking about that, the consolidation of work and jobs that's going forward. But I'm talking about the junk stuff that gets made with AI that is, I want to say it's probably the bigger chunk of use of AI. It's, the design work stuff, making random deepfake videos, making... Did you guys see that there's a AI actress now that she's supposed to be full AI that can do like pressers and whatnot? They're looking for an agent or to put her into a movie right now. She's like they're trying to make her own person. Listen. That's not a new concept. I remember when I was younger, digital voices was coming out, and I remember there was someone that made a full-on digital voice, and they made a full-on album. What's it called? Digital Atom, I think that's what it was called. And and the project was basically this is when your auto-tune and all that jazz first started coming out, and people realized that you can make a unique voice with that, and they tried to do that. This is the same thing, just different generation. Nobody's asking for that, okay? Nobody wants that. I don't think anyone cares. But think about how much energy, power, money, whatnot gets used for someone to create one of those and maintain it for absolutely no reason, right? AI chat girlfriends, that's also another thing that doesn't need to exist, but it does. That is sucking up power, money. Think about it, right? I brought up the chart before. Virginia, there are other states. 39% of the power being used in Virginia right now is for a AI data center, or a few of them. Who knows how many are there right now? That is used. That could be used to power an AI girlfriend. Think about it later on. If the AI girlfriend chatbot thing blows up, you're gonna need how many data centers are you gonna need just to maintain all that? Okay, and think about this. Okay, AI is taking over basically entry level jobs, right? Or even middle, like lawyers are in a scary spot right now. Some doctors are in a scary spot. Think about the amount of work it takes for you to get to become a lawyer, right? And then entry level wise, you're done by something that everyone right now has access to. And if you think about it another way, let's just say open AI, right? San Open, like, they don't make money. You know what I mean? I mean, they could, but if they put all of ChatGPT or whatever behind a paywall, but then that causes other problems for them, right? So AI by itself, most of them don't make enough money opposed to how much is needed to be invested into it, right? So it's a downward spiral, like it's a downward money pit, and the end outcome of what happens is just basically all the youngsters coming out aren't gonna have jobs, because entry level jobs are gonna get consolidated up, right, into some senior guy that could do like five of their jobs at the same time. They're not going to be able to get into whatever market or position they're trying to get into, and then they're going to be stuck, right? And that's what's going to happen. I don't know, at least that's what I think is going to happen down the road. I feel little glimpses of that, and somehow this relates to the other thing I wanted to talk about: U.S. soybeans. If you guys haven't seen, soybean farmers, which is a good chunk of the farmers, soybeans are a very profitable crop, have not been able to sell any soybeans ever since the tariffs hit.
Tariffs have single-handedly destroyed the U.S. soybean market. As of yesterday, the price of soybeans is about $9.34 here in Iowa. The cost of production is anywhere from $11 to $11.50. So per bushel of soybeans, it's about a $2 loss. And when you add the fact that it's about 50 bushels in an acre of soybeans here, you can do the math to see how bad things are. Historically, 60% of Iowa soybeans have gone to China. With Trump's trade wars from his first administration, the U.S. has become an unreliable supplier. So instead of these soybeans going to China, it's soybeans from South America, like places like Brazil and Argentina. That leads to more grains going to be left in the bin, which leads to oversupply, which means to lower prices. So here's what we need to do. We need to demand trade, not aid. Farmers don't want.
Okay. I know we talked about this earlier this week when it was announced that Trump is possibly going to bail out the farmers with the money that was taken in from the tariffs, right? I said it was basically you're taking money from other American companies to pay for the farmers. I don't know. I don't like it as much because even if you bail them out, right? If the markets don't come back, they're gonna need another bailout again. This is almost the same thing that if you think about it, it's almost the same thing that would happen with the banks, where the banks, they're like, oh, they're too big to fail or whatever, you gotta bail them out. Because here's the thing, I'm not an expert in this, right? But this is just what I was told and heard, is that, what was it, like 60% of the soybeans that are grown to get shipped out, because America cannot consume all those soybeans or some of those foods, right? That means these farmers don't need to be growing that much soybean to be on. If you think about it, then, right, if the market just goes away, that means these mega farms are just too big. You know what I'm trying to get to? They're too big. They either need to figure out a crop, change the crop. I know this is not easy talk, It's not easy to just change whatever you're growing, especially these beans were probably planted like a long time ago, right? Earlier in the year or whatever. Again, I'm not a farmer. I don't know how long it takes for soybeans to grow, but you know what I'm talking about. There's a growing period. Either one, they need to figure out something else to grow that maybe Americans would like, or sell the soybeans, figure out what to do with the soybeans that Americans would like to do. I don't know. Push some more vegan stuff. I have no idea. But you know what I'm trying to get to, where it's done. It's done. The soybean or whatever markets that China used to buy from, it's done. You could just see the writing on the wall ever since Trump term 1, when he first did the tariffs. The China or whoever started looking for other suppliers, and then from that point to this point, they've been cultivating those suppliers, helping them along, investing in them to make them more stable or give them a backup. And now that we're on Trump term 2, that plan of China to think ahead is paying off, because now they have relationships with Brazil and Argentina or whatever, and that's where they're going to get their soybeans, and they're going to continue. It's not like all of a sudden they're just going to come back one day. You know what I mean? It's just not going to work. And I think, what did they say? They said that even if those farmers were able to go and capture all the other markets around the world in total, if they were able to sell their soybeans to every other country that could possibly buy soybeans, or whatever levels they buy it at, it would not even equal to half of what China buys in soybeans per year. So it's done. They just need to move on. I don't think they need to bail out the farmers. I think the farmers need to, I don't know, grow something else. What was that thing before? Do you remember? It was like for the truckers. It was like truckers need to learn to code. I'm not talking about that they need to learn to code. I just think that maybe they grew too big, and now they're in for some pain. It's bad, but we're all we're all gonna be getting into some pain real soon, because if you think about AI, it doesn't really affect them as much, but this will affect them. I don't know. I just wanted to chat about it. I saw this thing about the AI data centers and soybeans, and I was like, this is we need to talk about it. All right, see you guys later. Thank you.